A normal afternoon, a simple task, and then in a matter of minutes, everything was gone. Fans of The Wire woke up to heartbreaking news that Bobby J. Brown, the actor who brought Officer Bobby Brown to life, had tragically died at 62. Not on a set, not during some Hollywood scandal, but in a devastating barn fire that no one saw coming. What makes this even more chilling is how ordinary it all began. He wasn't filming, he wasn't traveling, he was just handling something routine, and somehow that routine moment turned fatal. But the details of what happened inside that barn make the story even harder to process. Most people recognized him the second he stepped on screen, even if they didn't always know his name. On The Wire, Bobby J. Brown played Officer Bobby Brown with a steady, grounded presence that made the world of Baltimore feel real. He wasn't the loudest character in the room, and that's exactly why he worked. He felt authentic. But that role was only part of the story. He also appeared in Law & Order SVU, and later in We Own This City, quietly building a resume filled with gritty, street-level realism. Casting directors knew what they were getting with him: discipline, consistency, and zero ego. He wasn't chasing celebrity status. He was committed to the craft. Colleagues often described him as dependable, the kind of actor who showed up prepared and delivered without drama. In an industry obsessed with headlines and hype, he built something steadier: respect. And that makes what happened next even more difficult to accept. It didn't start as a dangerous situation. It started as a chore. He walked into his barn to jumpstart a vehicle, something thousands of people do every day without thinking twice. No warning, no sense that anything was about to spiral. Then somehow, a fire ignited inside the structure. At one point, he managed to call a family member asking for a fire extinguisher. That detail alone tells you how fast this unfolded. He knew something was wrong. He was trying to handle it, but fires don't wait for backup. By the time family members reached the barn, it was already engulfed in flames. What began as a routine fix had turned into a full-blown disaster in minutes. And what investigators later confirmed would only add to the weight of that moment. When officials stepped in, the facts became painfully clear. The Maryland office of the chief medical examiner determined that Bobby J. Brown died from diffuse thermal injuries and smoke inhalation. The manner of death was ruled an accident. No foul play, no hidden twist, just a tragic chain of events that escalated too fast to stop. His daughter later shared that the family believes the smoke likely overtook him before the most severe burns could cause prolonged suffering. It's a small detail, but in moments like this, those details matter. They offer at least a fragment of comfort in an otherwise devastating loss. There's been no speculation, no mystery surrounding the cause, just confirmation that a routine task turned catastrophic. But beyond the official reports, another heartbreaking layer was still unfolding. While the flames were spreading, someone else was running toward them. His wife didn't hesitate. Reports say she tried to reach him inside the burning barn, desperate to pull him out. In that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the danger, not the smoke, not the risk to herself. She suffered severe burns during the attempt. Think about that. This wasn't a distant tragedy watched from afar. It was immediate. It was personal. It was someone refusing to stand by while the person they loved was trapped inside. That kind of instinct doesn't come from logic. It comes from loyalty. The headlines focus on the fire, but behind those headlines is a family forever changed in a matter of minutes. And as they now prepare to say goodbye, another side of Bobby J. Brown's life is coming into focus. Away from cameras and crime dramas, his life was rooted in something far quieter. His daughter shared that he was a devoted Jehovah's Witness. Faith wasn't a label for him, it was a structure. It shaped how he lived, how he treated people, and how he carried himself off screen. Those who knew him say that grounded presence wasn't acting, that was him. Now, the same family he once protected is preparing a funeral service to honor him. No red carpets, no dramatic spotlight, just loved ones remembering a husband, a father, a man who showed up consistently, at home and at work. It's easy to focus on the roles, the uniforms, the scripted tension. But at the center of this story is a family navigating unimaginable grief. And as tributes begin to surface, the industry is reflecting on what it just lost. The shock didn't stay with fans, it hit the industry just as hard. Actors and colleagues who worked with him on The Wire remember a professional who never treated small roles like small work. Whether it was a brief appearance or a recurring character, he showed up prepared. The same applied to his time on Law & Order SVU and later We Own the City. Different sets, same consistency. His agent, Albert Bramante, didn't hold back his emotions, calling him a dedicated actor and a genuinely good person. Someone who cared deeply about the craft and brought positive energy into every room. In an industry where reputations spread fast, that kind of praise isn't automatic, it's earned. He may not have been a tabloid fixture, he wasn't chasing viral fame, but among the people who value discipline and professionalism, his absence will be felt. And sometimes that quiet respect says more than any headline ever could. He was 62, not a scandal, not a mystery, just a normal day that took a devastating turn. From the streets of Baltimore on The Wire to appearances in Law & Order SVU and later We Own the City, Bobby J. Brown built a career on quiet strength. He didn't need flashing headlines to matter. He built something steadier, credibility, respect, and a body of work that still stands. What makes this story linger isn't just a tragedy, it's how ordinary it was. A routine task, a quick decision, a moment that shifted everything. It's a reminder that life doesn't always give warnings, and sometimes the most shocking endings begin in the most predictable ways. And long after the headlines fade, the performances remain, frozen in time, still speaking for a man who never needed the spotlight to leave an impact.